Hi, and welcome back to Create, the podcast where we break down the content strategies behind some of today's most impactful brands and creators. And today we're talking about Jubilee Media, a company that's managed to turn empathy into a content engine.
Jubilee was founded back in 2010 by Jason Lee. It started as a non-profit YouTube channel, something he launched while working at a corporate job, and over time evolved into a for-profit media company.
Yes, by 2017, the shift was official, and now Jubilee has over 10 million YouTube subscribers and 2.7 billion views across its content. So what's made them stand out in such a crowded space? It's the way they've built a brand around human connection. Shows like Middle Ground, Spectrum, and Versus One don't just entertain, they challenge people to think, to empathize, and to see perspectives they might never otherwise encounter. In a world that feels increasingly divided, Jubilee has figured out how to use content to create common ground, and that's powerful.
They've also grown fast over the last couple of years. In 2022, they raised 1.1 million and launched Nectar, a spin-off brand focused on love and relationships. They expanded across platforms from YouTube to TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, and even made a documentary, Accepted, which premiered at Tribeca in 2021.
What makes Jubilee especially relevant today is that they're not just chasing views. They're building a movement through smart, intentional content strategy. They understand storytelling, they understand pacing, and they understand how to make content that people actually want to engage with and share.
In this episode, we're breaking down how they've done it, what's worked, and how they've adapted, and what other creators and brands can learn from the way Jubilee approaches content. Let's get into it.
All right, Jed,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember the first Jubilee video that you've watched?
I didn't watch a lot of them. I actually discovered Jubilee thanks to,
Really?
yeah, but then
I
really
didn't,
liked it.
to be honest, because we spoke about this in our AI episode. Like, we run our episode research through an AI automation that we built, and then we have someone in our team fact check. So we do get a bunch of topics at once. And when I read the name Jubilee, it didn't ring a bell. But then when I
watched
looked
the
at it, I was like, oh, I've seen content.
No, I've seen the content, but I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't
like,
know it was Jubilee.
Really.
But I've watched their content for years.
Mhm.
And I love, first of all, the intention behind the content that they put out.
Yep.
And then I just love how they've built their team. And sort of also how it's an example that anyone can get started with this, because the way he started his channel was just for fun.
Yeah.
And then I think he bumped into a couple of concepts that took off. And that's where you can see sort of the shift on their channel. So I'm just also going to pull up that channel because I remember in the research that I was like, oh, I remember those very early days videos. Not the completely early days, because I didn't realize the guy had already done so much. Jubilee. So when we go to their channel, and if you're listening to this, you go to the channel, you click videos, and then you sort on oldest to sort of track the history of a channel. And then you can see, like, he started like 15 years ago, the Jubilee Project, My 100 for Haiti. Like, he was very much into like charity and doing a bunch of stuff to like raise awareness for good causes. And it's just the guy with like, there are no thumbnails. Like, there's literally nothing. It's just this.
Yeah.
And I love that he kept it on that channel, because a lot of bigger channels would have been, now that we're popular, let's like remove all of this old content. And they didn't do that. And so it's like 15 years, 14 years. So he was already doing it for a while.
So he's been 15 years?
15 years since he started the channel and uploaded his first video, at least from what we can see. Maybe there was older content that we no longer can see. And then I think around 13 years ago is when they hit like that first, because they did a couple of like short movies as well. So I was like, oh, the guy's clearly like a director and a writer and like very creative personality. But then there was the one that I saw, and I remember seeing that years ago. It's not that one, but it's another one, which is also a concept that is very easy to recreate. So he just took his camera to the streets and he started asking people questions. And so, for example, here is a video, 160K views from 13 years ago, and it says, "What is love?" And it's just him asking that question to a bunch of strangers and then having a compilation. It's one of the easiest ways to create a lot of content, because once you stop someone on the street, you can ask them multiple questions. You can ask them, what is love? What do relationships mean to you? Have you ever loved someone? And those all can go into separate videos. And then each of those can also become separate social media clips. So it's a very, very smart way of creating content. And then where is it? He started doing this content where he put like couples at a table, or like people who broke up, and then they both tell.
One versus one, I think, the 1vs1.
I don't know if that's what it was
That's
called.
the concept, I think.
No, one versus many they do have as a concept.
Yeah, not the one versus many, because the one versus many is
Where
another
is
one.
it?
I think it's the one versus one.
Both sides. That's what it was called.
Okay.
So that's 8 years ago. And those are the videos that like are really taking off. He has a couple of other ones, same thing with like where he interviews a bunch of people, and it was called like 100 Humans. What do you love about yourself? 100 Humans. What does being in love feel like? That's an easy concept. Like you go on the street, you ask the same question to 100 people. But then he has these. And when I saw this, I was like, I watched these. And it's basically couples secretly shares each side of their love story. And what they do is they have a couple sit down in two chairs facing each other. And one person is wearing headphones and the other person tells the story of how they met. And then they switch. And so you hear how two people experience it completely different, yet still fell in love with each other. They also had like mother and son conversations. Husband and wife share both sides of their love story, best friends, etc. And that's sort of what took off. And then, of course, now in like recent years, they have so many different content concepts. And they still keep sort of that mission of we want to teach empathy alive, because it is very hard to find a YouTube channel that doesn't pick a side.
No, indeed. But before we even dive into because that's where it becomes even interesting, I wanted to point out the fact that they did something which is very great, which is testing. And testing, but fast, quick iteration, like putting out content, seeing if it's working.
I think that's something that they came to. I don't think that's how they started.
I know, of course. I mean, right now, like if they have a concept, they put it out. If the audience likes it. So it's very data driven. Yeah,
they very much approach it. Even if you like read through the interviews that he's done and where their team talks about this, like they talk about MVPs, which is something that you normally only hear in tech. Which is minimal viable product. Where if you're listening to this and you're not familiar with that, is whenever someone's building an app or a tool, we'll talk about an MVP, which is sort of your product or your app with the basic functionality it needs, and then you put it out in the market to test whether or not people would use that, right? It's not often used in a content production setting. So from what we could find is sort of Jubilee, they do these 24-hour intensive content brainstorms with their team where they sort of bunker down and they just keep going, jotting down ideas. And then when they find ideas that they think might work, they go very quick to MVP development. And then they put that out. And then based on the data that they get back, engagement, view count, watch through time, that will be the deciding factor whether or not they continue and further develop.
And they have the audience and the data to be able to quickly know if it works or not.
And at the same time, it's beautiful to see that although they have a data-driven approach, their mission remains sort of center. Because you can also, when you do a data-driven approach, become a brand that just chases views. It's like, let's go very data-driven and just give people what they want to see. Right? But for them, it was always about, let's make them think about topics. Let's make them witness conversations that maybe otherwise they wouldn't, which you specifically saw during the election last year in the US, where they had the one versus many. And it was always like one conservative versus 25
Mm-hmm.
liberals, or one Democrat versus 25 conservatives.
Conservatives. Yeah.
The only thing there, maybe the nuance, but that's also YouTube and sort of like you want to entice someone to click, is that you do see a slight like leaning towards maybe a more Republican, not viewpoint. I don't think that's it, but like in the phrasing of the titles, right? Because it just gives more, how do you say it? It's the same thing when we do YouTube titles where we're like, oh, they stole the content strategy of another brand. Like you want to create almost drama that isn't there.
Yeah.
And it's the same with those titles where it's like, will 25 or like, will one Democrat survive
yeah.
25 Republicans? And then, but they don't say it that way when it's one Republican versus Democrats. That's the only sort of nuance that I noticed. But other than that, they do a good job at staying very neutral and just having the content be the conversation, and then you decide what you think of it.
Yeah, and I think they actually address topics that people deep down themselves they actually think about, but they will never dare talking it loud or saying it out loud, because like that's why it's interesting, because you actually see people saying things that you maybe think, but that is not really conventional to say, and
You're
that's
thinking,
where it
but
becomes
and
and
maybe
that's
not
where it
brave enough to
becomes
say it out loud.
interesting. And also I remember, was that like the flagship content style, or
I
what's
don't.
it
We
again?
have
On
it in our.
rewind, or what's it again?
I just I remember them mostly from, and of course it's not.
Yeah, middle ground, where they would actually say something,
and then people
make a
have to go
statement,
stand
stand to the
somewhere.
spotlight, and I think the creative part, because the way they shoot as well is very creative, and it speaks.
It's a full-on production team.
Yeah.
Like they're a media company, right? If you go to their website, there's like a casting page. So if you want to be in one of the videos, you can apply. That's how they made their money before they ever went into product.
Yeah.
Right? And they didn't also, good to make, like they didn't raise until much later, and they didn't raise that much, to be honest. Like if you look at what other companies raise, like a 1.1 mil, there's not a lot you can do with 1.1 mil if you're doing video production at scale. Like the material costs a lot, just like the cameras and the lights. And so it's not like they all of a sudden had a big party. Yay, we raised 1.1 mil. Like probably within a couple of months, that money was gone. And I do have to say, sort of the spin-off channel that's like more relationship based, it's a little bit more gimmicky, in my opinion. Like if you look at at least at the thumbnails, I didn't go through it, all of them, but it seems a little bit more of like, okay, this is what people on YouTube want. It's a bit more towards a younger audience. It for me veers a little bit off of the main mission. But it is insane to see that 15 years ago someone was working a corporate job, picked up a camera, kept going, which is an important factor, kept going. But very much like you can see it in his early content, like was always raising awareness for good causes, trying to help people, trying to show that we're not all that different from each other. And then 15 years later now has an entire team
media.
It's a media company. And even I went to their website and it was really beautiful to see. If you go to their teams page, like it's all like pictures of them as kids.
Okay.
Like it's sort of like also with their content, what they're trying to say is like, to be honest, we're all kids and we all like
naive and
well, not naive, but like we at heart, we're all like innocent people, and then you have the impressions of the world around you, or you went through stuff, or you went through stuff and you learn certain things, but at our core, we're all just like little kids who want to be loved, who want to love in return. And so on their company page, their About Us page, instead of having images of the adults, you have images of them as kids.
That's powerful.
it's just very on brand as well.
Yeah, there is a lot about. I just love the topics, and I feel like it's something I would launch. I would like,
Yeah. I feel
or
like this
even
is very much
invest. Yeah,
our wheelhouse.
yeah.
Maybe to anyone listening to this, let's talk about how you can get started when you don't have the big production team or you don't have
Yep.
the money. How do you think? Sort of already said it a little bit earlier of like what is one thing that you could do?
Well, you start filming yourself. Like you get a camera, your phone, and then you start with the means or what you currently have. Because what I strongly believe is that it's all about the essence of the message. If you just grab a camera and start speaking and actually putting value out there, it's already a beginning. And there is authenticity. So being authentic, as long as you're authentic, like your content will speak to other people. What did you have in mind? What would you say
Well, I
as
already
the first
said
step?
it
Yeah.
like earlier. That's why I went through like the YouTube channel and sort of spoke about the
Yeah.
early days of like
Mhm.
simple things of like creating a lot of content is sort of thinking smartly about, okay, where can I get a lot of content that I can chop up in different videos. Now, of course, not everyone's going to want to start like a Jubilee channel, right? But in his case, he was smart about it. He took his camera to the street, asked a bunch of people, let's say 5 to 10 questions over and over and over again. There you go. You have 10 long form videos. You have a bunch of shorts. And it's just one afternoon of you going and asking questions. It's something, another concept that I did for a corporate client here is like, and it's still over there, I have like a glass fishbowl. It's also not my concept. I saw it somewhere else. It's notes from strangers. And it's basically, you'll see a big cardboard with a question, and then you ask passersby to write their answer on a paper and drop it in the bowl. And then afterwards, like you can reveal the answers. Sometimes they do it with leave a secret, read a secret. And so you would leave a secret and then you also pull a secret from the bowl and you read it. Anything like that is very easy to do in like an afternoon. And it is great for social. Anything that is more like concept based. And it doesn't necessarily immediately have to be as big production as Jubilee's doing. But I think the important thing is first, like, what's the mission? What are you trying to achieve? And then figure out how can I easily create content about that. If you are into beauty, and now I'm thinking about the Into the Gloss episode that we did, or Glossier, could have also, nowadays, instead of a blog, it could have been a girl who goes into like makeup stores or even just on the street and she asks people questions about their beauty routines or stuff like that. And then that's your content while you're also gathering so much feedback that you can use in product development.
And it's free.
Yeah. You just talk to people, but you record it.
So what do you think about how Jubilee produce your content? Like, do they have an in-house team?
They're in-house.
Yeah.
Like this is full on media company production. They might have some remote editors, but also they're doing everything. It's multicam setup, very large files. So it's easier probably to have everyone in-house. It's a full pre-production, post-production company. Like I said on their website, you can apply for their castings. This is not like a content creator who then sends their stuff to someone else to be edited. Everything is happening in-house, I think.
I want to challenge that because from what I see, because like it's not about outsourcing, because even like Clipmasters, it's not like people outsource. We work as an extension of your team, because I would feel like they don't have a huge, they don't have a huge team. So
it's pretty large.
It's pretty large?
Yeah, I went on the website. It's pretty large.
Because there's a lot of things to do to actually get the participants. Like, where
that's
is their
pre-production. Like they have a pre-production team.
Like thinking
they have
about
producers. Like this is, that's why I keep saying it's a media company. When I worked in national television, like when you work on a project, you'll have assistant producers, directors, creative directors. Like you have so many people working on not just one project. Like you have a roster of projects that you work on, and you have your specialty of what you do. The reason I'm saying I think it's fully in-house, even the editors, I'm not saying, outsourcing like wouldn't work. It's just the fact that they turn around stuff so quickly. The file sizes that they have, and the fact that everyone is in that pre-production phase together, like it would work. Like you could have someone remote who joins that on calls, but it's still, I think even the person that edits their stuff is probably at the shoot. And already, like when you're at a shoot, you can take notes and you can already know, we need to take this cut in the final edit and this and this. Whereas if you then work with a remote person or a remote team who wasn't there, now you need a person who is going to translate an entire shoot day to an editor who needs to then go and watch all of the footage again. So it's just about time efficiency that sometimes it is to their benefit to just hire in-house. Now, I'm not saying it's the case for the shorts, but for the full videos, probably, because those need to that's a lot of footage to go through to compile it to a 20-minute video. Whereas if you now send over a 20-minute video and someone has to make the shorts, that is possible.
Well, I would again, I'm just saying it because after speaking with a bunch of medias, I feel like in-house they would have a lot of producers, a lot of them, but not actually having hands-on execution of editing, because they will mainly focus on production, bringing up the because to plan those shoots is not that easy as well, and I think that's where the focus of have people vetting the participants, creating the stories, and
yeah, but it's a different profile. Like a producer doesn't edit, but they will have editors.
No, indeed, that's what I'm saying. Like they would eventually have the producers internally, have a lot of.
No,
producers.
I think the editors are internally.
Okay, let's. It's something to
for the main episodes. Yes, shorts and repurposing, maybe not.
Okay.
In my opinion, just when you think about file size, the amount of hours that needs trimming, you would want someone who is there in pre-production. You would want the editor themselves in pre-production at the shoot, so that the edit itself doesn't take that long because the person has followed along every step of the way. Whereas if you do the entire pre-production planning, the shoot days, and then you have to, first of all, upload all of that footage, brief about, this is often shoot days of 8 hours that gets turned into 20 minutes. Like if you have to brief that to an external editor, it would take you more time to brief the person than it would an internal editor who was at the shoot to put together the whole thing, because they're already thinking about the storyline while they're watching the shoot.
But they don't only have, I really want to understand, they don't have a lot of, do they have each editor at the shoot? Because that's where I feel okay, I totally understand the fact of uploading, because then it creates friction.
Saying well, that's they spend an entire day at the shoot. Otherwise, the editor would have to watch the 8 hours of footage.
But do they only have one editors, or do they have all your editors at the shoot? That's also...
No, they have the editor who's editing that
shoot there.
Shoot day would be there.
There. Okay.
I think so. And then for repurposing, I think they might have an external
because it's
partner.
Better, it's light,
it's just now you're working with a 20-minute video that needs repurposing, whereas for the full thing, you have 8 hours of multicam, which is 24 hours of footage to watch through. That doesn't make sense to send that over, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I will do some investigation on that, because I'm just imagining how many editors they would have internally. That it will be actually,
just go to their website and check, because they do have their team.
All right. Well, I wanted to ask you one of the questions they asked during.
I am also just looking up Jubilee.
Would you kill an animal?
Yeah. I'm going to get canceled now. But I eat meat. If you eat meat and you're like, I would not be willing to kill an animal, then you're a hypocrite because you eat meat every day. So you would let someone else kill an animal for you so that you can eat it, but you're going to be like, oh no, I would not kill an animal. Then don't eat meat. I like meat. But that's maybe also like I lived in Tunisia for 2 years, and I do have to say initially I was very shocked because for us, I go to the supermarket, I buy my meat in a plastic container, or I go to the butchers.
You don't see it at the
you
butcher.
don't see the animal anymore.
Yeah.
But if you're in Tunisia and you go to a butcher, the cow is hanging there, and you tell him I want that part, and he takes his knife and like cuts it out. Same thing with fish. Like up until the moment I lived there, I had only ever like had filet. Like I had never had a full fish where the head was attached and like.
Oh really?
Never, like
ever.
Yeah,
now that you're saying
that, and then in the beginning I was like, oh, I didn't even want to touch it. And then like after a year of living there, I was like, can I like look underneath the gills and see whether or not the color is good? And so, and then also any sort of festivity, people would buy goats or even like cows, and they would just like, okay, now it's the party where we're gonna
based on the
goat.
tradition,
and I'm
it
gonna
has to
get
be
canceled
done.
by anyone who's vegetarian or vegan. And I already know one of my friends is gonna send me a bunch of reels after this talking about how I should be a vegan. But I feel if you eat meat and you say no, I wouldn't kill an animal, what are you talking about?
Okay, but would you kill an animal in is there a specific scenario where you would kill an animal? You won't walk on the street and kill an animal.
No.
Like what? That maybe let me redirect my question there. Like, in which specific case would you kill an animal?
It's gonna be when I'm
because
hungry.
you can't.
No, it's not like I wouldn't walk around. I wouldn't find pleasure in killing an animal. But if, for example, I took my kid to a farm holiday, and I would love eventually to have a house where I can grow my own food. And then I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos about people who have they raise chickens for a season, and then they slaughter the chickens so that they have chicken for the rest of the year to eat. I would do that.
Yeah.
You give them a good life. But they're
I
also
never
there
understood,
for a
and I
purpose.
never really understood that because I have a friend of mine. I know they have a farm. So she would take care of the cattle.
Yeah.
Like, babies, right? She really loves the cattle.
Yeah.
But I think they sell that cattle to be killed and milked and killed.
Yeah.
But
I do have to
I
say,
don't get the
I
why.
do
Oh,
have
baby, then I kill you.
No, I do have to say that for me, I would have to know beforehand of I'm raising these animals for food, because then I don't get attached to them. Whereas I had it in Tunisia once where it was for a wedding. Someone had bought a cow, and I had seen this cow in front of this person's house. And you walk by and you see the cow, and they're feeding the cow and they're greeting the cow. And 2 days later, you go to the party, and I know one of my friends was there with me at the time. And she's like, "This is Bella. I'm gonna call her Bella." I could not eat it. I could not eat it afterwards because I'm like, I know this cow.
I know this cow.
Now this is weird.
Yeah.
Right? So I had trouble with that. But if I can be detached from the start, I think I would be able to do it. Although I told somehow I'm gonna get so canceled about this is gonna anyway, I'm thinking out loud. I think I would still find a difference between a chicken or a cow.
It's easier to kill a chicken than killing a cow?
Somehow. I don't
Why? Because the cow is big.
Because birds freak me out. Okay. So I think a cow seems more closer to people, or I don't know.
Why? By its
a chicken is
it's like a chicken.
It's a chicken.
It's like quack, quack, and dead, and it's finished. While the cow, to kill it, you need to actually put effort and.
Yeah, I think I don't know now. Now I'm having very vivid, but have I ever killed an animal? No. Would I? I feel like you have to say yes if you eat meat. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think base, of course. If you have to think you already.
And then also in any situation, if an animal tries hurting my kid, I will go for its throat. Of course. Immediately.
Of course.
That's just mama bear energy activated. Don't fuck with my kid.
That's pretty interesting.
Would you?
I've killed animals.
I'm discovering things here. Tell me about this.
Well, when I was young, I killed a chicken.
For
A
fun,
hen.
or because that's
No,
like a bad thing? Like
not
if you
for
kill
fun.
animals as a
No,
kid,
come on.
that's like an indicator of something.
Of something.
Yeah.
No, not to that extent. No, well, in Cameroon for Christmas, you will eat chicken.
Chicken or turkey?
Chicken in Turkey, but mostly chicken. So I once.
You hunt for a chicken and you kill it.
No, we had it in our compound. We had a few chicken ready for Christmas. So we will feed
Yeah.
them prior to Christmas, and then
Okay.
and then we will do that. And well, I wasn't traumatized because that's the thing that was. But today, if
But
you
also
told me to
because
do
you
it,
know that it's gonna be for
no,
Christmas.
well, I was a kid, but now if you told me to do it, I wouldn't be able to do it. So if you tell me, can you kill an animal? I would tell you. I
Here's
would
the
say,
thing. I think we're capable of a lot more than we think. So I think I am capable of doing it. Would I have any joy in the
enjoy doing it?
process?
No.
No. But if you know it's like I have to so that I can eat, then you
Or
turn
to
off.
save your life.
You
yeah,
turn off,
yeah.
like it's a button in your head. You detach, you do it. There's no fun in it. You would want to make sure that the animal
Survival.
suffers as the
least
least
as
as possible. There's no ounce of my being that goes like, yay, let's kill an animal. Like at all. But again, like for me, it just ties back to like I eat meat. I eat a lot of meat. I like eating meat. So if you then ask me, would you kill an animal? I've indirectly killed a lot of animals. This is not going to go in it. For sure. Creates where they kill animals. Oh, Jesus, no.
Well, I think we're very...
I like this. Is there another question that we should answer?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I didn't, like, this was one of the... So...
I'm afraid maybe the next one won't be so fun.
Well, I would ask you, what is... Yeah, again, I was about to add, that's Jubilee. Like, like there is no...
Well, let's try.
You go now.
What should I go?
You can ask me.
But then I have to first check.
Yeah, okay, you can go.
By the way, I did check, and they do have editors in-house.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. Senior editor.
Yeah, I think they have internally, and they probably have some backup, editor, as you said.
It's already 5 of
some
them.
Backup.
They even have a thumbnail designer, someone who does nothing but thumbnails, which is logical. Creative lead, director. All right, well, we will ask ChatGPT. That's going to be the fastest. Ask me Jubilee Media style questions. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, so this is wonderful. This is the power of AI, people. So it even gave it in categories based on the different content formats that Jubilee has. So they have spectrum, middle ground, and versus. And if you have spectrum style questions, you have to agree, like answer with strongly disagree to strongly agree. And the statement is, it's okay to lie to protect someone's feelings.
So what's the question?
Great that you're listening to me. I love this.
No, but you started, please. Go
ahead. A statement, and you have to say where you land on the spectrum of strongly disagree to strongly agree.
Okay.
And the statement is, it's okay to lie to protect someone's feelings.
Disagree. I would say
disagree or strongly disagree?
Disagree.
Okay, why?
Well, because...
so you're saying it's not okay to lie to protect someone's feelings?
No, it's not okay to lie to protect someone's feelings.
Okay.
And it's just based on a personal thing. I have this great friend of mine that you know, which I won't say the name here because it's not...
Give me a hint.
M.
Okay.
Yeah. So, who actually helped me understand that, because I would usually just not say, just to adapt things, just not to hurt maybe his feelings.
Yeah, you
And
used to
then,
do that a lot.
what are you talking
Where
about?
you, or maybe I
Let me
misunderstood.
finish. Let
Maybe I
me finish.
misunderstood. I was gonna say like you were quite conflict avoidant
Ah,
in the sense of like you
yeah.
wouldn't bring stuff up.
No, 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 no.
Okay,
That I would,
misunderstood.
but it was coming more from a, um, which wasn't necessary, more from a protective side. Like, because I know the person, I would avoid to do something that would hurt him or say something that would hurt him. But finally, I learned from that it's all up to him to handle how he feels. Like, if it triggers him, it's fine. If it triggers him, he will
Yeah.
learn how. But it's very rare, because now that person that you know is very conscious, is
Mm,
capable of actually being triggered and knowing that, okay, well, I'm triggered.
yeah.
Most people get triggered, and then they get triggered, and then you're like, okay,
And
that's
they
not
blame
the
you for being triggered.
for being
Yeah.
triggered, and they don't even try to understand that, okay, now I'm triggered, maybe. So he told me, well, I would rather you just say things how they are,
Yeah.
and if I get triggered, I would manage the fact that I'm triggered, and then we would speak about it.
I have a follow-up question. This is
Go
very
ahead.
far from what Create is about, but
Yeah.
I watched the podcast with Esther Perel the other night
Mhm.
on the Diary of a CEO,
Mhm.
and there was a question in there about a guy who said, "I cheated on my partner in the past.
Mhm.
Should I tell her?"
Mm.
And she had an interesting take on that.
Mhm.
Because he said, "I feel really guilty. Should I tell her?"
Mhm.
And she said, "I know that for a long period of time, we were all about like, when you cheat, you have to tell your partner, like you have to give them the choice." And
Mhm.
but she's like, "Why are you telling them?"
Mhm.
Right? If this is something that happened once, clearly you're feeling very guilty about it.
Mhm.
First, deal with your own guilt before completely ruining another person. Now, and then what I took from that is like, either you deal with your guilt and then you decide you leave,
Mhm.
or you stay, you never do it again, and you're now going to be the best partner you're ever going to be. But she actually said, like, sometimes, yes, you tell the truth because that person could handle it or whatever, but everyone has their own narrative of a situation, and you just telling the truth because you want to unburden yourself of your guilt is not a kind thing to do,
Because then that
you
person,
are breaking a person.
Mhm. And then that
right?
person may feel like, well, now you did that because of me. What's wrong
Yeah, but
with
it's like,
me?
it's always when someone
Yeah.
cheats, and we talked about this earlier
Yeah.
today, it's not about the actual physicality of cheating, because the majority of us are with partners who have had sex with other people before we
Yeah.
met them, and we're not making a big deal out of that. So the idea of your body rubbing up against someone else's body apparently is only disturbing when you're doing it while I am also with you, right? And so it's not actually about that. It's about the lying involved in that, the crossing of a boundary involved in that. And so it's about, oh, I thought I could trust you to uphold our contract,
Contract, yeah.
and you did not. Does that mean everything else was a lie? Does that mean our love isn't real? Does that mean like, so it's all of that a person now has to deal with. And the next time they enter into a relationship, they will no longer be trusting.
It's trusting, yeah.
Right? So you break someone by telling them. This is not me advocating for cheating and not telling your partner, by the way.
No, sure.
But it's just, she explained it like that. So she's like, deal with your own feelings before you go and break someone else.
Which is also a form of empathy.
Yeah,
because,
but then when we come back to the statement, is it okay? It's okay to lie to protect someone's feelings.
That's why I put a nuance.
Sometimes, yes. But you said disagree.
No, I said disagree, but not totally, because I disagree. And that's why I mentioned that specific story. If I know the person can, if it's not about me, I would say it. But if it's about me, and I also think about what the person will feel, if that person is capable of handling that, and if, depending on the contract, like, you have this type of people, I can tell you whatever I have in my mind, and you don't resent me, or you don't take it personally. Yes.
Yeah, but then it's easy, because then also, like, they wouldn't involve their feelings, right? Like, you're saying, like, with the right people who don't take things personally, well, then you're not hurting feelings. We're talking about a situation where, you know, when I say this, I'm gonna hurt the person's feelings. Is it then okay to lie?
No, I would still say...
for me, I land in the middle. I think there are certain, like, I don't disagree, I don't agree. I think for me, I like to be a truthful person and then leave it up to the other person to decide. But I would do that probably up front. So I would never, at least up until now, have never found myself in a situation where I have to then admit to, for example, cheating. But I do think when you find yourself in certain situations, maybe even you find out about a friend of a friend doing something, like, is it really up to you to go and tell the other person and then breaking that person just for the sake of the truth must be known?
Or you.
And also, what is the truth? Is it really an absolute truth, or is it just based on perspective? This is a whole other conversation.
That's what I was going to say, because there's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah.
And they feel like, oh, now I'm going to show you that I'm the great friend. Love me because now I'm telling you the truth. I really love you.
Yeah, but that's not love. Breaking someone isn't love. Anyhow, we're about to lose our middle camera. Goes to show that Jubilee's content and questions are very powerful and spark conversation. If you liked today's episode, make sure to give it a like, comment, and share it with someone else who might find it interesting. And then we will talk to you in the next one.
Hasta luego.